You can see on my screen here, there is what is your marital status, and then the number of children you are having. So I'm going to combine these two so that you can be able to understand. Many people are getting confused here. And in the end, they apply, they win, they are denied the visa because they didn't know what to feel, or they lied because of everything. If you look here, on this situation, there is no status as boyfriend, girlfriend. There is no engaged. So don't ask me a question, what if I plan to get married next week? They don't care when you are planning to get married. They ask you the current, today, what is your marital status? Today you are filling the form. If today you are married, put you are married. If today you are single, put an. If you have never been married in your life, you put unmarried. So unmarried is you have never been married in your life. If you are married and your spouse is not a US citizen or permanent resident, which majority of people will be, that means if you put this one, when you click continue, next page, it will give you the information about your spouse, to add information for your spouse. If you are married and your spouse is a US citizen or permanent resident, it can give information for the spouse, but it's not a must to add the photo. But on this one, you must add the photo because your spouse, yeah. If you are divorced, remember, you must be divorced. Not because you are just have quarrels with your spouse. It doesn't mean that you are divorced. You must have divorced completely. You are widowed. Legal separation, this they put here. Legal separation is an arrangement when a couple remains married but live apart following the court order. If you and your spouse are legally separated, your spouse will not be able to immigrate with you through the diversity visa program. You will not be penalized if you choose to enter the name of the spouse whom you are legally separated. So once you put you are legally separated, you can either put the information of your spouse, or even if you don't put. If you put the information of your spouse, it's okay, but your spouse will not come with you. If you are not legally separated by court order, you must include your spouse, even if you plan to do a divorce before the diversity, before you apply the diversity visa. Failure to list your eligible spouse is the ground for disqualification. If your spouse is a U.S. citizen, permanent resident, do not list him or her in the entry. So this you don't need to list. If your spouse is the U.S. citizen or permanent resident, don't list your spouse. If this one you are going to list, if you are legally separated, you put it there. You can put it there if you choose, but it's not a must. So let's say this person is married. If he's married and this person has, let's say, 0 child. I'm giving example. Click continue. It will come to part 2. Part 2, it will give derivatives. Derivatives will give the information about your spouse. The name of the spouse, whatever, then date of birth of the spouse, then the gender of the spouse, city the spouse was born, the country the spouse was born, the photograph of the spouse must meet the requirement. Because I didn't put the child, then it didn't give me the option for the child. Let me go back. The internet usually, because of everybody is applying. But if I continue here, I'm going to submit. So let me quickly go. Let's say I'm married. Let's say I'm unmarried, but I have 5 kids. 5. So if I have 5, remember, to have kids doesn't mean that you must be married. And they don't mean they must be living with you. The kids might be living with their mother, or they can be living with your grandfather, grandmother. It doesn't matter whether the kids live. As long as your child or your children, you are going to add them. So because I say I have 5 kids, so it will be child number 1, information. Child in the photo. Child number 2, child number 3, you are going to add. Child number 4, the information, name, date of birth, gender, place of birth, nationality, photo. Child number 5. Then you are continuing, going back. So you see, this is how it works. So don't you come here later to say, oh, I forgot to put the children. You cannot say you forgot to put 0 while the question, how many kids do you have? So what if you are marital status, you have, let's say you have 0 child, and your child is, you are married to let's say you are married to a US citizen. Click continue. You will see what is going to happen. Previously, in the previous DV lotteries, when you put, so you see, it doesn't give the option to add in your spouse. Why? Because your spouse is a US citizen, so you can go ahead and submit. But previous years, once you say, even if your spouse is a US citizen, you have to put the information for spouse and the photo is option. But from this year, usual, the information, and they give information, like, remember to print out this one in the records so that you can remember. So if your child is a US citizen, you don't need to add you have a child. Or if your child is a green card holder already, you don't need to include your child. I cannot submit, because if I submit, I'll be like taking some people's chances that you have applied, because I'm just this one, put the fake information so that you can be able to do that. So what if you are legally separated? But sometimes in other countries, it's not about the court. It might be traditional court. Because sometimes other countries, they are not doing the court situation like in America. So you can be able to say, so if you choose to enter information, they say you will not be penalized if you enter the name of the spouse whom you are legally separated. So if you don't want to put the information for your spouse, it's okay. You can put like you are legally separated and continue. So now it's just a problem. Once you submit the application, it will give you this way success. If you don't reach here, that means you haven't applied. It has to show you success, you have applied and the entry has been received, and you have the confirmation number. It will be having this 2022 and then the certain numbers. Without this one, you haven't finished the applying. So that is something I want to make sure that you are understanding.